Very good evening to you and welcome to Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Krishan Devasagayam.
A very good evening, I'm Rahna Farooq.
We've got an interesting lineup of stories tonight, but first a look at the headlines.
Prime Minister makes a statement on Phase 3 of the Central Expressway. Activists criticize the Prime Minister and the Minister of Highways. Road project vested with the people of Kilinochchi through the Gammadda initiative. MP Bimal Ratnayaka says silk cloth judgment is a good warning to all state sector employees. Arjun Aloysius provides statement to the CID.
President Maithripala Sirisena graced the national program titled Let's Protect Children, held at the Provincial Sports Complex at Digana, Kandy.
The program was implemented according to a concept of the President to protect children and create a better environment conducive to their physical and mental development. Ending domestic violence against children, stopping child abuse, preventing using children for unlawful activities, and the prevention of labour exploitation are among the main objectives of this national program.
Last year,
the brutal killing of a school student named Vidya took place. That was done by a group of Sri Lankans connected to an international smuggling ring who wanted to video the forceful rape and killing of a girl. How inhumane society had become. You might encounter many instances where the youth walk along train tracks with their headphones on. You must have heard that countless lives were lost as a result of such actions. Several months ago, I banned the use of mobile phones during the cabinet meeting. At the cabinet meeting, rather than engaging in cabinet discussions, some ministers have their earphones plugged in and are using their mobile phones. There was a program which elaborated on the responsibilities of public sector employees and on the government's policy. Even at that time, 3 hands of institutions were on their mobile phones and their earphones plugged in. They were more engaged in their mobile phones. What can I say about the children?
Former Director General of the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka, Anusha Palpita, who was sentenced to 3 years of rigorous imprisonment yesterday, has been admitted to the prison's hospital this afternoon.
A senior official at the Prisons Department said that Anusha Palpita was admitted to the hospital upon a recommendation issued by the medical officer of prisons. The accused was found guilty over the charges of misappropriation of 600 million rupees of the TRCSL to distribute silk cloths during the 2015 presidential election period. Accordingly, he was placed in the K ward at the Valakadu prison until this afternoon.
Speaking in Parliament, JVP MP Bimal Ratnayaka pointed out that the judgment delivered on the distribution of silk cloth in the run-up to the 2015 presidential election is a good warning for all state sector employees.
Lalit Veeratunga and Anusha Palpita were charged with the misuse of 600 million rupees of public money, which was used to distribute silk cloth as propaganda activity in the run-up to the last presidential election. However, we all know that Lalit Veeratunga did not contest that election. This silk cloth was distributed and this money was spent for Rajapaksa's election. They are, however, nicely being protected under the current constitution. However, the officials who assisted these corrupt individuals have been punished by the courts. Hundreds of millions of rupees is being spent on the Sri Lankan Airlines deal without obtaining any cabinet approval. Therefore, I think this is a very good example for officials who are assisting politicians to swindle public money. It is very clear that only 10% of officials are corrupt. However, because of this corrupt 10%, the honest 90 also gets a bad name.
Arjun Aloysius once again arrived at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry to provide a statement to the Criminal Investigations Department. Zulfiq Farzan reports on Bond Gate.
At around 9:30 this morning, Arjun Aloysius arrived at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry accompanied by his lawyers. Arjun Aloysius was body searched before being allowed to enter the premises. It was announced at the commission that President's Counsel Gamini Maripana, the brother of Minister of Foreign Affairs Tilak Maripana, will be appearing for Arjun Aloysius. President's Counsel Anuja Premaratna, who is currently appearing for Arjun Aloysius, informed the Commission that he objects his client coming before this Commission and giving evidence. The members of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry informed the Council to make a submission on that matter on Monday. Now, meanwhile, it is also reported that Arjun Aloysius has been asked to come and give a statement to the CID officers who are assisting the investigations of this commission. And thereafter, he has been ordered through his attorney to submit an affidavit to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Kasun Palisena, the Chief Executive Officer of Perpetual Treasuries Limited, was warned by the Commission to retain a new counsel, as President's Counsel Nihal Fernando will not appear for PTL after the evidence examination of Palisena is over. During the cross-examination of Kasun Palisena, it was revealed that the ultimate beneficial owners of Perpetual Treasuries Limited, Perpetual Asset Management Limited, Perpetual Capital Holdings Limited, Perpetual Capital and W.M. Mendes and Company Limited are Arjun Aloysius and Jeffrey Aloysius. Additional Solicitor General Milinda Gunathilaka questioned Palisena on a number of transactions PTL had entered into with Perpetual Capital Holdings Limited and other parties. These transactions have not gone through the PTL current account or the account with the central bank. According to the AG's department, Palisena had failed to prove the cost of sales PTL incurred because it is not reflected in the current accounts or the RTGS system in the central bank. Palisena was extensively questioned on the purchase of securities from Perpetual Capital Holdings and sales to the EPF. As they are not reflected in both current accounts and Lanka's secure system in the central bank, Additional Solicitor General Milinda Gunathilaka highlighted that these transactions mentioned by Palisena do not exist and they are a sham. Justice Prasanna Jayawardena stated the large number of transactions produced by Palisena to prove movement of funds and securities are only in the documents produced by PTL. He added, these are not independently reflected in the Lanka secure system or the real-time gross settlement system in the central bank. In addition, the AG's department noted the cost of sales presented by PTL are not correct and not acceptable. As Palisena said, he followed a pick-and-choose method to calculate the cost of sales. The Commission questioned the logic of following such a method. The AG's department pointed out that PTL cost of sales are based on transactions that do not exist.
UK media reported today that UK MP Ian Paisley Jr. of the Democratic Unionist Party failed to declare that he accepted 2 all-expenses-paid trips from the Sri Lankan government in the year 2013.
A newspaper report said that Ian Paisley Jr., his wife and 4 children flew business class, stayed in the finest hotels and were provided with chauffeur-driven vehicles, all paid for by the Sri Lankan government. It estimated the total worth of the trips were about £100,000, approximately 20 million Sri Lankan rupees. Paisley later tweeted an image of a letter from his solicitor, Paul Tweed, refuting the allegations and saying that Paisley Jr. had referred the matter and a full explanation to the Parliamentary Commissioner for Standards. And Paisley Jr. met with Amari Vijayawardena, the Sri Lankan High Commissioner, in Parliament to discuss a post-Brexit trade deal. During discussions with officials, he offered to help the state broker an oil deal, saying he had significant arrangements with national oil suppliers in Oman and Nigeria.
An event titled Escape Stories of Survivors was held at the BMICH in Colombo yesterday. The drama was organized by Leeds, a national NGO committed to reaching the most vulnerable.
Escape Stories of Survivors, a drama based on 6 true stories of survivors of child sexual abuse, is an integral part of A Girl Today, A Woman Tomorrow campaign targeting the issues of child sexual abuse as a form of violence against children in our society. Escape, the Child Protection Division of Leeds, was formed in 1995 to halt the increasing incidence of cases of child sexual abuse in the country. There is no fact to show that the governor of the central bank was involved in this. He gave the instructions in the presence of 2 deputy governors. The claim that the governor interfered with the work of the tender board is not true. Therefore, I appointed a committee of 3 to look into the matters related to the 30-year bond issued on the 27th of February. How else am I to look into this? I cannot tell it to the monetary board. I cannot investigate that. I need to be satisfied with it. This statement was issued following revelations made on the bond scam, which we began reporting on the 8th of March 2015. Newsfirst obtained sensitive information regarding irregularities in the bond transactions and was able to reveal that the government suffered losses worth billions. Thanks to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry, a massive amount of details continue to be revealed regarding the nefarious transaction. It was revealed in the Presidential Commission that Arjun Aloysius was privy to sensitive internal information and financial information. Even the lawyer that appeared on behalf of Arjun Aloysius' company has informed that he can no longer represent the company before the Commission. We are proud to say that we were able to report this massive fraud of public funds over 2 years ago. We revealed this scam standing together with the people and on behalf of the people. Likewise, we stand with the people and continue our crusade for the truth.
In much the same way, the Prime Minister dismissed Newsfirst's revelations on the bond scam in 2015, the Prime Minister today responded in similar vein to revelations that we made regarding the third phase of the Central Expressway through a statement in Parliament.
I'm making this special statement because over the past 2 weeks, a certain media organization, there is no need to conceal anything, it is the Sirsa Media Network, they have been carrying out a campaign against the Central Expressway. They have been slinging mud at this project. So I wanted to reveal the truth to the chamber as well as the public. On the 22nd of June 2016, letters were issued to 3 Japanese companies calling for their bids for the project. One company provided the cost. However, there were technical shortcomings. A special advisor to the Japanese Prime Minister, Dr. Hirohito Hisumi, met with me on the 10th of October 2016 and assured that the government of Japan would make sure that we receive a proper response when we call for costs for the project for a second time. Thereby, the CCEM took steps to issue letters to these companies once again on the 26th of October 2016. 2 Japanese companies provided their costing for the project. Fujita Corp 147 billion rupees and Taisei Corp 159 billion rupees.
Fujita සමාගම රුපියල් බිලියන 147ක්, Taisei සමාගම බිලියන 159ක්.
Is this the truth? Fujita Corp is a company which was initially rejected by the project committee based on key points. Number 1. The project committee stated that Fujita has not been involved in a contract of over $600 million for the past 5 years. Number 2. The lack of experience in key activities. Number 3. Being unable to prove financial capacity. These are the 3 factors highlighted for rejecting Fujita. When tenders were called for the construction project, the bid submitted by Taisei was also rejected based on a lack of a bid bond. Doesn't the Prime Minister's own statement prove that the 2 contractors who have been chosen to complete the construction project are not qualified for this project?
Fujita සමාගමට කොන්ත්‍රාත්තුව ලබා දීම සුදුසු බව.
The cabinet reached a decision to award the project to Fujita Corp on the 6th of December 2016. The CANC then announced that Fujita, which submitted the lowest bid, has failed to meet 2 criteria. Therefore, the next step was to negotiate with Taisei, which submitted the other bid. On the 12th of April 2017, Special Advisor to the Japanese Cabinet, Shigeru Kiyuma, made a written request from the Minister of Highways, Lakshman Kirialla, on behalf of the Japanese government. He stated that the Japanese government would be pleased if consideration is given to Fujita. Thereby, Lakshman Kirialla submitted a cabinet paper to award the construction project to Taisei at a cost of 134 billion rupees. On the 28th of August 2017, the General Manager of Taisei and the CEO of Fujita wrote a letter to the Minister of Highways, and it states that based on the requirements of the Japanese and Sri Lankan governments, our companies are taking the necessary steps to work together. Thereby, according to the information I have received, they are planning on splitting the third phase into 2 parts, one each to Fujita and Taisei.
අදීරේ කොටස් දෙකකට බෙදා ගන්නට යනවා. එකක් ටයිසේ සමාගම, එකක් ෆුජිතා සමාගම.
On the 5th of June, the Japanese government's official stance was conveyed to the government through letter by Japanese ambassador to Sri Lanka. The letter states that, quote, "The government of Japan fully respects the Sri Lankan rules and procedures for tenders carried out by the government of Sri Lanka, including for the third section of the Central Highway, and is in no position to raise objections to the results of a lawful tender procedure." On whose behest was opportunity granted for a rejected company to join this project when the Japanese government clearly states that they have no intention of interfering with the legal tender procedure? A meeting was held on the 29th of June 2017 between Minister Lakshman Kirialla, Chaminda De Silva, advisor to the minister, representatives of the Taisei Corporation and Fujita Corporation, along with representatives of two other companies. The minutes of the said meeting highlight some startling revelations. During the meeting, a representative of the Fujita Corporation states that direction by the subject minister to form a consortium makes Fujita confused since Fujita was rejected. The representative of Taisei responded by expressing deep concerns about the violation of bidding procedure and rules of the country. Advisor to Minister Lakshman Kirialla, Chaminda De Silva, who has no official authority to overrule any decision, responded to the Japanese representatives, stating that there was no violation of bidding procedures and rules. Since the bidding process continued, the Japanese representative of Taisei expressed concerns regarding the transparency and legitimacy of bidding.
They are talking about the Sri Lankan government initiating this project at a cost which is 25 billion less. They are calling me a thief. They are calling me a thief because I did this. If I was doing it at a greater cost, then they could call me a thief. We have been able to reduce the price by 25 billion. I didn't do it personally. It was the cabinet subcommittee. If this is robbery, what do they call when people actually steal? Why has this media institution been hurt by the fact that we have received a benefit of 25 billion? Why are they crying? Why do they blame us? The media asked who this is for. This is for the people.
මධ්‍යම අධිවේගී මාර්ගය හදන්නේ කාටද කියලා මේ මාධ්‍ය ආයතන ප්‍රශ්න කරනවා. ඒක හදන්නේ ජනතාවට.
The Prime Minister also spoke of massive savings that he was able to secure. He noted that he was able to save 25 billion rupees through negotiations. The Prime Minister points out that he was able to reduce the initial cost of 159 billion rupees of Taisei Corporation to 134 billion rupees. However, the Cabinet-approved Negotiation Committee's final report states that the engineer's estimate for this project is 123.5 billion rupees. What is the saving that the country benefits from completing a project with an engineer's estimate of 123.5 billion rupees at a cost of 134 billion rupees? In actual fact, this is 11 billion rupees above the engineer's estimate. This is the truth.
There were two ways in which Japan could have assisted in this program. One is through a loan from Tokyo Mitsubishi Bank. The second is a loan from JICA. There are many things to do in order to get assistance from JICA. They noted that it would take a long time to get done. Since we expected to finish this project in a matter of 3 years, the most practical solution was to obtain a loan through the Mitsubishi Bank. We are currently negotiating with the Tokyo Mitsubishi Bank to obtain these funds.
Then Tokyo Mitsubishi Bank was සමග සාකච්ඡා පැවැත්වෙනවා.
The Prime Minister also stated that since the project needed to be completed in 3 years, a commercial loan was obtained through the Tokyo Mitsubishi Bank for the project, as it would take too long to obtain funds through the Japan International Cooperation Agency. It is the general public who will have to pay off this massive interest for the commercial loan obtained for this project by the Prime Minister. If the loan was obtained through JICA, the government would have been able to secure the money at concessionary interest rates. Government-to-government loans certainly don't take 10 years. If the Prime Minister is unable to negotiate credit in quick time, there are plenty of leading private sector corporates that can. Perhaps he should leave it to them instead of making decisions that would load the costs of financing on innocent people. In any case, who called for this project to be completed in 3 years? Isn't it the people of this country who will have to pay off the high-interest commercial loans that were obtained because the government was in a rush? What's the hurry to get this done by 2020?
There are Maharajas in society who attempt to steal the benefits which are due to the public.
Yes, there are Maharajas in society. Maharajas who are with the people and for the people. Maharajas who expose Maha Horu. As proven in the past, we stand by our reporting.
Chief Opposition Whip Anurakumara Dissanayaka responded to the Prime Minister's statement.
Mr. Prime Minister, you valued this at 134 billion, but the actual figure is 134.9 billion. That's nearly 135 billion. 135 billion for 32.5 kilometers of highway. That is approximately 4.15 billion per kilometer. That is 4.1 million for a meter. The criticism you levelled against the former government has not been eliminated at all. There is not a single tender procedure. What was the recommendation made by the President in this regard? What was the recommendation made by the President to the Cabinet on the 3rd of May 2017 with regard to the third stage of the Central Highway from Pothuhara to Galagedara? He said that the proposed program is in violation of the fundamentals of the procurement process of the government. So the observations made by the head of the Cabinet on this proposal states that this proposed program is in violation of the fundamentals of the procurement process of the government. So the observations made by the head of the Cabinet clearly says that the accepted procurement process of the government has been violated. So regardless of what the Prime Minister may say, the President has clearly observed that the procurement process has been violated. Honourable Speaker, if true assets are created from the loans obtained, the debt burden will not increase. The reality here is that the assets needed were not created from these loans, nor were assets created to match these loans. A commercial loan has been proposed for this loan at a cost of 4.1 million for a length of 3 feet. Therefore, it is very clear that other than the debt burden of this country increasing, there is no other benefit that we can obtain through this project.
The Prime Minister's statement on the Central Expressway project also prompted critical reactions from civil organizations.
Ranil
Wickramasinghe, Lakshman Kiriyalla and certain officials in the government are stressing over this highway issue. So now they are saying the Central Highway will be constructed in 3 years. How many children are there without a proper education and proper schools? Doesn't the Minister of Highways know that? They study in huts instead of schools. Some people do not have access to proper drinking water. People in this country are not in need of a highway. The citizens did not request the government to build highways in 3 years. Considering how the government is trying to complete the construction in a hurry, we suspect that there is a major problem hidden in this highway construction.
There is no need to obtain commercial loans and construct highways in this country. Highways should be constructed, but it does not have to be built in a hurry or in 2 to 3 years. Ministers in our country prefer this highway business more than anything. The Prime Minister suggests to obtain a commercial loan with a high interest rate from a private bank in Japan to construct the Kandy-Colombo highway. So we would like to ask the Prime Minister the need this country has to construct the third phase of the Central Highway by obtaining a commercial loan with a high interest rate.
The Voice Against Corruption convened a media briefing today. The relationship between the former president and the Prime Minister was highlighted.
It is a known fact that Mahinda Rajapaksa and Ranil Wickramasinghe met a long time ago. Ranil Wickramasinghe and Thirunadesan went to the temple trees on the 9th of January 2015 to meet Mahinda Rajapaksa. Thirunadesan was the one who took Ranil Wickramasinghe. Mahinda Rajapaksa spoke to Ranil Wickremesinghe to make arrangements to obtain a statement from his wife at the official residence. They have facilitated those who engaged in corrupt activities. Ranil Wickremesinghe was aware of these and there are deals. Maybe they are trying to have a Ranil Mahinda deal in place of the Ranil Maitri deal to get in touch with Maithripala Sirisena. We do not know about these deals. They meet every day. They communicate and meet every evening in different places. The corrupt individuals deal with the ones who implement the law and other powerful people to amend the law according to their own whims and fancies.
Earlier this week, we saw the launch of yet another economic policy document by the government called Vision 2025, The Country Enriched. In an exclusive interview with News First, former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. W.A. Vijayawardena, commented on its timing and status of targets in previous plans.
Both 2020 and 2025 are election years in Sri Lanka. So what I feel is that this particular document has been prepared by the government in expectation of submitting certain achievements by the government to the electorate by the time the government faces the new elections, which should not be the case. Because if you want to prepare an economic plan for any country, it should be a long-term plan which should be free from the electoral cycle of the country, and therefore in that sense I think this particular plan has a drawback in the sense in year 2020 if another government comes to power, this particular plan will be thrown out by the new government. So therefore it will not be implemented continuously as envisaged by the government. What I find is that all the three statements the government had made, there was no any connection, no coherence, and they were independent, stand-alone policy documents, and therefore there was no any connection. And usually when a government comes up with a plan like this, Ramesh, there must be, when you present the next second plan, there must be a section where you will be reviewing the targets of the first plan, how many targets that you have attained, and what are the reasons for failure of any targets, and what are the remedial measures that you would be undertaking in order to correct the situation. Now, we don't have that kind of a structure in the present Vision 2025 or of any of the two previous statements made by the Prime Minister. So,
stay tuned for the full interview with Dr. W.A. Vijayawardena on Biz First Review 360 on TV1 right after the primetime news bulletin.
We are thankful for the Gammadhi initiative. They were the first to come here and look into this. We are extremely thankful to them. We wish to also thank the Board of Directors at News First.
The people in Gangadaran Kuruiripu, which is located in Kilinochchi, expressed their indebtedness to News First for the renovation of a road which was in a dilapidated state for many years. This morning the road was vested in the public, an initiative which was supported by Mass Holdings.
The village of Gangadharan Kuruiripu, located in Akkarayan under the Kilinochchi Pradesh Sabha jurisdiction, is home to around 300 families. This road was used by villagers to commute. However, for many years, it was in a state of ruin. As the situation was a clear obstacle in achieving their day-to-day needs, the locals were inconvenienced for several years. Today, the Gammadhi team has managed to bring a sign of relief for these people. It was smiles all over when a road development project was undertaken under the Gammadhi initiative and was carried out according to proper standards and vested with the public today. MAS intimates financially supported this project. The event organised to declare open this road was graced by Gammadhi team members and senior personnel from MAS intimates.
Well, on that note, we wrap up tonight's edition of Primetime News. It was a pleasure having you with us. I'm Prashanth Sagayam.
And for the News First team, I'm Rahna Farooq. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant night.